Going for boost. Well, I think going for boost, if you're a boost merchant, like someone like AJ or someone, you go for boost.
100% of the time.
Yes.
Always, every second of every game. Ball's going in your net, don't worry about it. Go get the boost and make sure you've got the full 100 to celebrate with the other team.
Oh God. Never. Yeah, never. Always go for ball.
Yeah.
Number one rule of Rocket League.
Welcome to the Boost Over Ball podcast, where three aggressively average Rocket League players talk about everything RLCS with your hosts, Ace, Code Red Jack, Kyle Cube, and AJ Binky. So, if you've ever wondered when the best time to go for Boost Over Ball is, you've come to the right place.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Boost Over Ball podcast. To listeners new and old, hello and welcome to the show. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Kyle K-Cube, and I'm here with AJ Binky.
Hey.
Ayo. RLCS is back. We have stuff to talk about. Today we'll be talking about the RLCS Open Qualifier number 1. We have our NA top 16 teams, as well as every other region except for EU, which will be happening, which will be starting up February 2nd. But today we will be recapping everything from single and double elimination, doing a little bit more of a deep dive in NA than any of the other regions, but we will be giving you the results from those other regions when we take you around the world. But with that, let's jump right in to NA RLCS play. I am just so thankful to have RLCS games back to talk about, to watch, and to enjoy. What about you, AJ?
Yeah, I feel like watching it was a bit of a struggle, though. Like, it felt like I could never find a stream to watch, and when I did, it was the wrong one. It felt weird, but it's back, and that I'm happy about.
Yeah, I mean, I talk about it a little bit in my my biggest losers and biggest winners from the single and double elimination leg, but and we'll talk about it more at the end once we wrap everything up about like the team streams and stuff like that. And I think that's maybe, kind of its own conversation, but I tend to agree with you. Like, if you're a big TSM fan, they did not have a team stream, so I just, like, you have to watch, Johnny Boy's stream. Hercules was doing a watch party. A lot of people were doing watch parties, which is cool to see, and it's awesome for the community to see so many different streams like pop up and be involved. But, like, if you're really a big fan of one team, it was hard to like stick with their run the whole time unless you're like just refreshing start.gg, and that's not exactly the most fun way to watch Rocket League. But with that, our NA Qualifier 1 single and double elimination is done and set. We now have our Swiss stage, which is going to be kicking off this weekend. I am very excited to kind of see the Swiss format. It was a favorite of ours, kind of, going back to last season. We really enjoyed seeing that, so I'm excited for it. On February 2nd, so that'll be this Friday, we will see the Swiss stages. And, for those that are unfamiliar or just getting into RLCS, the Swiss stage is there's 16 teams. Once you win 3 games, you advance. Once you lose 3 games, you are eliminated, and you continue to play until everyone has either won 3 games or lost 3 games, which turns out to be 8 teams qualifying for the double elimination bracket and 8 teams being eliminated. So, AJ, you want to run us through which teams qualified for our Swiss bracket?
Let's do it. Starting with NA here. So we got Dignitas, G2, Gen.G, Luminosity, M80, and NRG, and SSG and TSM all coming through the top bracket. And then the lowers are OG, Pirates on a Boat, Plot Twist, Shopify Rebellion, Deleted XD, The Muffin Men, The Snowmen, and Young Whippersnappers, which is a great name.
It is very good. Does anything stick out to you from that list first and foremost?
Snowman.
Yeah. I mean, that is
kind of exciting.
We talked about it. Scribbles becomes the youngest player to ever legally qualify for an RLCS event. and the Snowmen become the youngest team ever to qualify. So good for them. It's awesome to see Squishy and Gimmick making it. And it's no secret here that we're both big TSM guys. We both like Hey Bro. We both want to see best for them. So awesome to see them perform as well as they did, taking down OG in the upper bracket to secure their spot into Swiss.
Yeah, excited for TSM. That's a good start to TSM being back.
It certainly is. And for the most part, the day 1, day 2 of especially the single elimination bracket, I don't know that it really produced anything that we didn't expect. There weren't really any upsets or anything like that. It was a lot of kind of weeding out of the teams that didn't necessarily deserve to be in the conversation yet. The champs, everybody that wanted to sign up and qualify. It's a great time to do that, to compete, but it's a little bit different when you're playing RLCS talent. So we didn't really see much upsets or anything like that from those.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, all of this was kind of expected, but there's some new names here. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And one thing that happened that I wasn't exactly expecting was OG nearly not making it.
Yeah. They go to game 5 overtime with the leftovers, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's correct.
I mean, it's just that's a crazy result. I was very, I don't know if concerned is the right word, but I mean
I think it's the right word.
Yeah, I mean that team is Daunt, Cam, and Taroko. Taroko, formerly of Rogue, probably the most notable name of that. Cam plays for Columbia College, who's been in the CRL Worlds, so people probably know of him. And Daunt, most notably playing for Fast and Furious and Zambu Mafu. We've talked about some of these teams in the Bubble Blast. I'll shamelessly plug that a little bit. So, listen to that to kind of get up to speed on the bubble. We'll be coming out with some more of those episodes in the near future. But like you said, teams like Plot Twist with Sosa Expert and Koifer, Pirates on a Boat with 5UP Andy Aris, and Achieves coaching. We heard a lot about 5UP. Andy, formerly of Dignitas, Aris of almost NRG, just like Frosty. Deleted being Adam, Knight, and Oath. We talked about the Snowmen, Young Whippersnappers, Realize, Skippy, and Panda. So, I mean, cool to see. A good result also from M80, the tri-region team with AJ, Jorias, and Nas. So excited to see, what they can kind of do as we move forward and kind of get into some more an even playing field type match.
So going back to OG real quick for a second. Do we expect their top 16 run to be lackluster because of this? Or do you think they're gonna pop off? And I mean, I feel like they have the talent to potentially win.
I think so too. I mean,
and they barely even squeaked by.
They did, and I don't know if that's it was a bad matchup for them, if they they were having a hard time getting into it, but certainly we've seen all 3 of these players at the pinnacle of Rocket League at one point or another, right? Nolly with the fall major championship, JNaps has certainly been there, done that with G2, Com with version 1, won Gamers 8. He's been a mainstay in RLCS for a while now, and certainly we've seen Torment win a world championship, and coaching OG. That's that's a lot of star power. It's a lot of talent. It's a lot of experience that they can draw from. But we talked about it a little bit last season, right? Ace is a big Gen G stan, and we've talked about the peaks and valleys for Nolly, right? Like the peaks are very, very high, but the valleys are very, very low. Right, he's not exactly the most consistent player, so you hope Com and JNaps can continue to level him out and bring that out. But I mean, maybe it's a little bit of a learning process. Like we saw them perform pretty well in some of the off-season tournaments as Torment's minions before they were officially picked up by OG. But they're playing some of the big boy teams now, right? Not necessarily all of the all of the draw or Bandits on Wheels teams. Still good results in those events, but I think they definitely have the talent and the experience to do it. But we'll talk about it here in a little bit. But their placement in out of the double elim will make things difficult for them moving forward, I believe.
Yeah, I agree.
But with that, let's jump into our biggest winners and losers from the single and double elimination phase. Starting out with the winners. For my three winners on this one, I have first and foremost, I have TSM. Great showing. They proved to everyone that their offseason success is sustainable. They won some of the Bandits on Wheels. They had good showings in the draw and in other Bandits tournaments. Wavy continues to farm 1v1 events, continues to place extremely highly. TSM looked very good. They take down OG in the upper brackets. They looked fantastic. They did not drop a single match in the single elimination stage. Not a full series, but like not even a match. We have the only matches that TSM drop on their whole run being to OG, taking that one to game 5, but they certainly performed very, very well. Secondly, I have Frosty. Frosty was dropped by NRG kind of at the 11th hour. It's still not even really known why he was dropped to begin with. I mean, it's speculative that it's personnel, like personality issues, something like that. And even despite being dropped by NRG, he finds a team and is able to qualify through to the Swiss. In spite of that, so a big win for him there. And my last winner is going to be orgless teams. So teams that don't currently have organizational backing, that being, in this case, Plot Twist, Pirates on a Boat, the Snowmen, Young Whisperers, the Muffin Men. That's 5 teams right there. That's about a third of the teams that are involved in this top 16. They were able to compete and show their talent, which, quite frankly, in other formats where you don't have single and double elimination, I don't know that they, and like the point invite system, I don't know that they would have been able to showcase their talents outside of this new event style. So, I think that those 3 were your kind of your biggest winners from last weekend. Did I miss anything? Do you agree, or do you disagree?
Yeah, I think you hit everything, but I just want to throw out there, if any of those orgless teams are looking for an org, I'll pitch in $50.
We'll do a team stream for you. We'd be happy to do it. We got production, we got casters, we got a platform. We'd love to rock your merch if you have any. We'd like to help you make merch if you don't.
Heck yeah.
Hey, shameless plug ourselves, right? We're happy to join you on any wild rides that you may have.
Yeah, it'd be pretty cool.
It would be very cool indeed. Give going to one of those international events even more meaning if you were there, and we've been repping you the whole time, so you could get in on the ground floor. Now we'll move on to our biggest losers from the weekend. My first one, and it comes with a big grain of salt, but is OG. Falling to the lower bracket to TSM and almost dropping out to leftovers, making that to Game 5 overtime to qualify is not great. Not a great showing for them. They still made the main event. They're in the Swiss stage. So it's a win for them. They got through. But the fact that they dropped down to lowers, the fact that they went to Game 5 overtime with leftovers, the fact that they qualified so low into the Swiss stage, which we'll talk about here in a second after the the other losers. But their first round draw is not good. So it kind of puts them behind the 8 ball, so to speak, in my opinion, moving forward into the Swiss stage. So that is why they're on this list. My second one is going to be Boulevard. This is a team that looked poised to break out last RLCS season. We talked about them on some of the episodes of the Bubble Blast. Again, go listen to those episodes. They're very cool. We're looking to bring some of them back again soon. And they may have had an unlucky draw to play against some of the better teams, like dropping out to Shopify Rebellion. But in order to compete with the best in RLCS, you have to be able to beat the best, and they were certainly not able to do that. And so they're probably, in my opinion, one of the quote-unquote bigger names that missed out on the Swiss stage. And last but certainly not least, I have the average RLCS viewer. So due to a lack of team streams, And it was tweeted out that team streams were only allowed for teams that had rollover points from RLCS from the previous season. And the Swiss stage will have some more team streams, and they'll have the main broadcast back for that. But if you were a big fan of, let's say, like Pirates on a Boat, they don't have RLCS split points, so they didn't have a team stream. So you were reliant on someone like Johnny Boy or Squishy, or, well, not Squishy because he was playing, sorry, but some like Hercules, some of the other people that were doing watch parties for this event, and you had to hope that they were gonna put on that series for a little bit. But it really, like, having all of the games happening at the same time really made it difficult to watch all of them. So for that reason, I have them on this list as well.
Danger Taco, Fear. Who else?
Johnny Boy, Hercules. There's
Yeah.
so like it's like a double-sided coin, right? And we can talk about this a little bit more at the end as well. But it's awesome to see that many people streaming. It's awesome to see all of those people with large viewer counts. It's awesome to see Rocket League trending on the Twitch homepage because there's so many people trying to watch the RLCS happen, and like all throughout the day, right, with the different regions going as well. But while it's easy to find content, it's not always easy to find the specific game that you're looking for, and that is the reason that they are one of the three losers for this week on my list.
I was gonna say the worst part about that is the fact that you had to say trying.
Like that's like, in my opinion, like this is a much wider like conversation, but like that's one of the appeals of esports, right? As opposed to like conventional sports or like cable TV, is like the ease of access of finding, being able to watch, right? You just need a device with an internet connection.
Yeah.
Like that's like the huge appeal of esports, in my opinion, like watching esports. So, if you're not able to watch, your favorite team or your favorite player, it takes away from the viewing experience.
Yeah, like I saw Beast Mode's mom tweeted like she's just not able to watch.
Yeah.
Like how that doesn't make sense.
I mean,
Can't even watch her own kid.
Yeah, G2 is one of the largest esports organizations in the world, and they're not able to watch, like the families aren't even able to watch their kids play. That seems a little bit messed up.
It's ridiculous.
But did I miss anybody? Did you have anybody that should have been added to the biggest losers section?
For the losers, I'd say all the pros that had to go through the entire qualifying tournament, all the established pros.
Yeah, I mean,
And we'll talk about this more. It'll come up again.
Oh, I'm sure it will. But I mean, a lot of people, it looked like, I saw tweets from like Reddles from a lot of people that, even though it was maybe a little bit stressful, it was a lot of fun. People were excited to be able to be playing RLCS again. So, I'm kind of excited that it's not like that they have to like qualify through every time, that it's not just like, you just get invited to events. But at the same time, like there is still an opportunity every single qualifier for an upset to happen, for us to not see a Luminosity, a TSM, a Dignitas, an M80, something like that. One of these big names, just one slip up, right? And that could be it. But
yeah, I get both sides of it. Like, it gives everybody a fair shot.
And it certainly opens the door for more orgs to support teams, because like kind of any given day, so to speak, right? You could have like a like a Boulevard could come back next event and just be absolutely peaking and make it in.
Yeah, exactly.
But with that, we'll jump down before we talk about the Swiss round 1 matchups. We'll do AJ, your favorite series from the weekend.
OG versus Leftovers. Went to game 5. Absolute butt clencher. Shouldn't have been game 5, I don't think. Like, I feel like it shouldn't have been a game 5. It was way closer than it should have been. It was just super exciting all around, and I'm not gonna lie. As much as I'm a Calm fan, I was rooting for Leftovers for this one.
Yeah, I mean, certainly Leftovers does a really good job to take them to game 5, but really with the names on OG, you'd expect them to do better. I think that OG Leftover series was one of the best ones of the weekend.
Yeah, I agree. It would have been awesome to see Leftovers in it, but you can't really expect OG to drop the series.
Yeah, I would agree. I think that they like that just the talent and the experience is there. They just are. I don't want to say too big to fail, but I think that they're able to pull through because of experience and because of the talent. So, definitely a match worth watching to go back and watch if you have not yet. That's why we do that segment. So, with that, we will jump into Swiss round one matchups. The round one matchups are set because of seeding and basically seeding. We'll talk about it now. Actually, I'll move it up from the bottom where it was. So for qualifier number one, all three starters average RLCS 2023 seeding score, which is determined by adding 50% of the points from fall split, 75% of the winter split, and 100% of the spring split points. Points only apply to starters on RLCS 2023 teams and do not apply to substitutes, coaches, or managers. The highest placement reached in the 2023 spring split, and all three starters average ranked 3v3 standard mode matchmaking ratings as tracked on an in-game leaderboard by the leaderboard snapshot period date most prior to the start of an open qualifier.
And this is why Monkey Moon was grinding threes.
Yes, it is. So basically, because of the way that this is set up, the rankings of where teams placed was very important, right? So Gen G qualifies first based on their team, based on where they placed through uppers, all of that stuff. TSM places second due to beating OG. They Space Station third, G2 fourth, NRG fifth, Luminosity sixth, Dignitas seventh, M80 eighth, Shopify ninth, the Muffin Men 10th, Young Whippersnappers 11th, Plot Twist 12th, Pirates on a Boat 13th, the Snowmen 14th, OG 15th, and Team Deleted XD is 16th. So after the open qualifier 1 for the open qualifiers 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, etc. It is based on 2024 cumulative RLCS points, highest placement reached across any open qualifier, and the latest head-to-head record within this event. So it gets much more straightforward as we continue on further into the season, but for open qualifier number 1, this is the reason that our matchups are Gen G versus OG, TSM versus Deleted, Space Station versus Pirates on a Boat, G2 versus the Snowmen, NRG versus Young Whippersnappers, Luminosity and Plot Twist, Dignitas and Shopify, and M80 and the Muffin Men. Will we see any updates based on seeding? What do you think?
I assume you mean upsets. And I think yes.
Okay. I mean, I would
Yeah.
I would tend to agree. I don't know. I don't like Shopify. I think Shopify could beat Dignitas. I think the Muffin Men could beat M80. I don't know how much of an upset that really is. But then also, if you lose the first round, it's easier for you to win the second round, because if the losers from the first round play other losers from the second round, that's how the Swiss stage kind of works. So I will be interested to see what happens here, especially with that first matchup that we have on the docket with Gen G and OG.
Yeah, I'm going with OG on that one.
Really?
I think they're gonna go nuts. Yep.
Okay. Any particular
I'm feeling it.
Okay. But
I think they're gonna realize that they almost didn't make it, and then they're gonna realize that they need to buckle down, and then they're gonna beat Gen G. They're gonna beat Gen G about it.
Okay. I'd love to see it. Do you think any of the Orgless teams, so Young Whippersnappers, the Snowmen, Pirates on a Boat, Plot Twist, the Muffin Men, do you think any of those teams will make it out of the Swiss stage?
I think Pirates on the Boat have the best shot at it.
I would
I
tend
don't
to
think
agree.
they're going to.
Okay. That's fair. But
You know what? Well, I think they're going to. I think they're gonna make it out.
okay. Well, for people who have been listening to the show, this is where we put ourselves out there and make a prediction. So I'm not gonna do a prediction on the winner yet. Or we're not gonna do predictions on the winners because that would be, that's what we're here for. Let's do it. We will make a prediction on our top 8 teams, and then we will make a prediction on who will win, like the whole event. So AJ, why don't you start us off with your top 8 teams, and then I will do my top 8, and then we can do winner and winner.
All right, my top 8. OG, TSM, SSG, Pirates on a Boat, G2, NRG, Luminosity, Shopify, and M80.
Okay.
But that's only because I didn't realize this was top 8 and not just who was winning round 1. But I'm sticking with it.
So no Genji?
I mean, yeah. Genji's going to make top 8.
Yeah, I mean, hey, by all means, switch it up if you need to. I did
top 8. I'm changing this up.
I didn't lay this out very well in the Google Doc that we use for our recording notes. It is set up where you would pick the winners of each match. So go ahead and switch yours up. For me, in my top 8, I have Genji, Space Station, G2, Dignitas, Pirates on a Boat, TSM, OG, and Shopify. Most notably leaving out M80, Luminosity, NRG, and the Muffin Men, I will say.
Oh, wow. You're leaving out M80, huh?
I am. I think that there's stronger teams personally. I think they had a good showing in the single and the double elimination, but I feel like they are not there quite yet.
Let's see, okay, I lost my place here in the dock. Okay, yep. I know what I'm doing.
But for my winner, I am going to rock with G2 Stride on this one. I think that this is where we kind of see their pop-off potential start to come into play. I could see a grand finals of Gen G and G2. I think that those are kind of going to be the two in a way favorites in NA to represent the region on the world stage. I think G2 starts out their season the right way and gets a win here in the first event.
Yeah, I feel like that's a pretty safe bet. But I'm going big with TSM. I think they're going to take it all. I think they're just going to come in and sweep the competition. First event in, they're just going to take them all down.
Hey, I mean, that's fair. I think that, they certainly have looked very good. They come in as the second seed. They knock down OG. They have a lot of confidence and promise coming in from the offseason. They were a lot more active than some of the other teams in some of those offseason tournaments. So I like their odds of performing better than people expected, and I'm excited for them to get some RLCS points.
Yeah. And I look forward to watching them. Assuming I'm able to.
Yeah. Well, we'll see about the broadcast schedule, and that's maybe something we talk about on the next episode. But with that,
I'm sure it'll start getting better.
I hope so, especially as there get to be fewer and fewer teams. I think it's easier for them to start streaming the matches.
Yeah.
But
exactly.
With that, it's time to take you guys around the world to hear about the results from other regions in RLCS. And we'll start out with OCE. For these regions, we are not able to catch the games due to timing, not all of them at least. But we will run through kind of the top 16 and some of our thoughts on the region, some more in depth than others. But for OCE, our top 16 is set. We have Chiefs, Cold, Gremlins, Ground Zero Gaming, Kaka's Minions, Long Red Cordial, Nothing Better to Do, NTV, Power, Quick Trip Pioneers Gaming, formerly Kansas City Pioneers, new name level sponsor Quick Trip, Scrims World, Soldier Boys, That's Crazy, The Bus, They Whomst Cooketh, and Tiki Taka. Wow, that was bad.
Okay, before we go any further, which one of these top 16 has the best team name?
I mean, I'm a big fan of They Whomst Cooketh.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Although I like Soldier Boys too.
I think they whomst cooketh is the best.
I think it is
That's
too.
what I would go with.
And like nothing
Okay,
better
let's
to
do this for NA too. What do we
Okay.
got for NA?
Young whippersnappers.
Oh yeah, that one's not even a competition.
No, it's not close. But like for me in OCE, nothing better to do. Well, clearly you did have something better to do because you've been playing Rocket League a
That's
lot.
a good name though.
It is.
Yeah.
But it's not they whomst cooketh. It's just not.
Yeah.
But you know, for my thoughts on this region, you know, you kind of see the big names. You see Pioneers, you see Power, you see Chiefs, Kaka's minions. You know, with Kaka formerly on Ground Zero. You see Ground Zero again, but realistically, and you see the return of Chiefs, which is kind of cool. But you know, realistically, I think it's going to be Power. I think it's going to be Pioneers, Ground Zero, and Chiefs that are going to be the kind of the top 4 people vying for those major spots.
Yep.
Not really a whole lot for me to add on that one. Congratulations to the rest of the teams that qualified, but I really think it's, you know, kind of one of those 4 or 5 teams regions to lose.
Yep, I agree.
Do you want to take us away with Sam?
Let's do it. Top 16 for Sam. Team Secret, Crew Esports, Hero Base, Furia, Complexity, Ninjas in Pajamas, 3-Point Shooters, Not Exposed, Shaman Esports, W7M Esports, Last Options, True Neutral, Bodybuilders, Prime One, and Blazar.
Okay. Before thoughts, best name.
Best name. I got my pick.
I got mine.
Ninjas in Pajamas.
I kind of like Not Exposed.
That's a good one too.
Because like my whole thing, if you're gonna try and compete, I'd be like, please just don't be exposed, don't get highlighted,
Yeah.
don't do it.
Yeah. That's fair.
Just don't
I
be.
like this one since the first time I heard it.
Yeah, it is a good one.
Yeah.
Don't be exposed. Quick transition. Don't be exposed like 50K Gaming was exposed by Furia.
Oof.
Oh my
guy's
goodness.
dirty like that.
Oh my god. So for those not familiar, those who didn't see it on Twitter or didn't watch the VOD on Twitch, Furia's first round match in round 2 of day 1 of the open qualifiers, they played 50K Gaming, who advanced to round 2 on a DQ. All 3 of those players had diamond tournament winner tags. And Furia won that series with a plus 64 goal differential, including winning game 1 21-0 and game 2 43-0.
Best of 3. 64 goal differential.
In 2 games. Averaging 32 goals a game. In the 43-0 game, all 3 players had over 2,500 points, and Yan almost dropping 3,000. They also the other team had 0 shots, and it wasn't like they weren't playing. It wasn't like an Oakland University CRL issue where they just like set their controllers down and walked away and like basically forfeited. Like these guys were trying. They were just completely outclassed on every level conceivable by Furia.
To be fair, I think they stopped trying game 2 when it was 28-0. Because the one dude said, "I'm crying. Try to make it to 30." And then they did, and then they made it to 43.
Yeah, including a 0-second goal from loss to make it 43-0.
I mean,
they're looking like a team of bronzes out there.
yeah, they basically are playing against Furia.
Yeah.
There's not many people in the world that wouldn't look like bronzes against Furia.
Yeah. But, I mean, other than that, like, absolutely jaw-dropping and eye-watering result, were there any other surprises for you from Sam?
No.
Okay.
Not really.
Well, I
Lots
don't...
of Brazilian players.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have any, like, surprises, but one thing I am extremely looking forward to watching this Sam Swiss stage. I mean, with, you know, Team Secret, Crew, Hero Base, you have Furia moving back, you have Complexity completing in Sam, this split, you have Ninjas in Pajamas, you have the return of True Neutral. I am extremely excited. This is going to be a hotly contested region. All of those teams that we just mentioned have incredibly high offensive potentials. They're all very mechanical players. I'm excited to see what can happen. That's going to be a very, very, very fun region to watch.
That's gonna be a lot of fun.
It certainly is. Now, moving on to MENA, your top 16 is set. We have Fivehead, ASE, Awa Wa, AWA, Cam, X Oblivion, Fearless, Infinity, In the House, Innovators, KDB, No Name, Rockside, Rule 1, Team Falcons, Twisted Minds, and Zone. So, first and foremost, best name.
Best name. Oh, Fivehead.
I think that's I like that one a lot too.
Yeah. Congrats, Fivehead.
You've
At
done it.
least you get to win something this regional.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, for MENA, it's Rule 1, it's Team Falcons, it's Twisted Minds. I mean, like, it's, like, even though all three of those teams have changed in the offseason, all three of those teams have picked up fantastic players, I think that it's really just, it's the three. It's the big three, and that's it. Right? And with MENA picking up an extra international major regional spot, we're going to see two of these three teams compete every single event throughout this season. So it's going to be a race to see which two those are. But for me, my early pick would be Rule 1 and Team Falcons.
How many? MENA only gets 2 spots.
MENA gets 2 spots. Yes, correct.
Yeah, Rule 1, Team Falcons.
But I mean,
hard to pick anything besides those two if there's only 2 spots. If there's 3 spots, you can throw in Twisted Minds, obviously, but
yeah, I would agree. But again, due to the
but I'm rooting for Fivehead.
Oh yeah, Fivehead all the way.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy one of your jerseys if that's even an option.
But again, due to teams changing RLCS previous season RLCS points, these Rule 1 Team Falcons Twisted Minds are not first, second, and third seed. So, you know, it'll be interesting to see what happens with them, but I can't imagine a world in which those three aren't your top 3 seeds moving forward. But now jumping over to APAC, you want to take us away with our top 16 there?
Hang on, what's the seating look like in MENA?
It has not been fully announced yet, so I think that would be coming in the next day or so.
Okay. And APAC, top 16. Or Reveille. I'm just going to stick with that. Reveille. Albino Monkeys, Bokatachi, Chapati Dream, C-Vent, Detonator, Elevate, Gaming Gladiators, Last Minute, Resda, Retirees, Sailing Esports Team Number 1, Triple Jawa, Yokohama F Marinos Esports. Thoughts? Those are difficult names.
Yes. For me, though, it's got to be Albino Monkeys.
It has to be.
That's
Retirees is pretty good. That's about it.
It's got to be Albino Monkeys for me.
I like this one just because it's like so long.
I think that's a school.
The Yokohama one.
Yeah, I think it's a school team. Similar to like a Boise State
sense.
Or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, but like Albino Monkeys by a landslide.
Inject that directly into my veins.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
But again, I think it's really, Game and Gladiators, it's Elevate, it's Detonator. This season especially, I think it's Game and Gladiators far and away. I think Detonator a close second, and I think Elevate, will be third in that grouping. But again, I think it's those 3 teams fighting out for that one major spot. So I don't really see.
And we had a couple non-APAC teams qualify, right? It's a Japanese team.
They are still technically teams. They are still technically.
Are they still APAC?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, realistically, I think it's Game of Gladiators, Elevate, and Detonator. I think those are your 3 teams to watch in APAC.
Yeah, definitely.
And then last but not least, we have Sub-Saharan Africa. Our top 16 is set. It's Bonjour, Double Agents, Drift Queens, Firehawks, Limitless, Los Angeles Signal, NXT, Phony No Jutsu, Sesame Street Ballers, Shumanglia, Stras Kabibi, Team Fluepa, The Elites, Unity, White Rabbit Gaming, and Young Money Clan. You got a favorite name on this one?
Not Young Money Clan.
Yeah, no, not that's not for me either. I got mine.
It's got to be Sesame Street. Give me a second. It's Sesame Street Ballers is what I'm thinking though.
Me too. I like Drift Queens a
Yeah.
lot too, but it's got to be
I do
Sesame
too.
Street.
Yeah. How could it not be?
That's so good. But realistically, again, similar to Mina, similar to APAC, it's Limitless for me, and then White Rabbit Gaming if I had to pick a second team, but it's Limitless for me.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So that's the team
And
to watch
there's-
for in SSA.
There's a couple of EU teams in here too. Young Money Clan.
Yeah, so I will be
That's
intrigued.
that's a pretty young team, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
I will be very intrigued to see what happens with that. They'll have what I would assume to be some ping issues, but like Young Money Clan is an English team, Firehawks is an all
Backfire.
Spanish team,
Yep.
Strats Kabibi is an Italian team, and then you have some like transplants, but for the most part they're SSA teams.
Yeah.
Oh,
Which is exciting to
And
see.
NXT, I think that is. it's a-
Netherlands? Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's Netherlands.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So,
Netherlands, their coach is England.
yep. So a couple of region teams, out of region teams, sorry, and I'm interested to see how they compete against Limitless. So we will have to wait and see on that one, but
Not too many though.
no, not as many as
That's
we
good.
would have thought originally.
Yeah.
For sure.
So that's cool.
So for SSA's sake, I hope their ping is really bad, and I hope they have a hard time competing.
They did say the ping was tolerable, so we'll see.
And we'll have to wait and see on that one. But
I agree though. Down with the what is this?
region
English?
transplants.
Down with the English. Yeah.
But also they've locked themselves in now too, right? Because that was said in the announcement. So these teams have done the qualifiers in SSA, so now they can only compete in SSA for the rest of the season.
I mean, they made top 16.
They did.
So,
they made some money. They're
could do it again.
officially pro players now, so we will.
Yeah.
We will have to wait and see.
Yeah.
But with that, we've already talked about some of the open qualifier seeding, like for seeding for qualifier number 1 and then 2 through 6. Is there anything else that you wanted to talk about or to mention before we wrap up for today?
I don't think so.
Well, we're looking forward to Swiss Stage coming up on Friday, for that one. So we'd like to thank you guys so much for listening. Remember to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, join our Discord, rate us wherever you listen to podcasts, as those 5 stars really help us grow our show and expand our audience. Check out our YouTube, our Twitch, our TikTok, and our merch store. Super awesome merch. Big Fan RL, Reputate Gen approved. Those are all those links and more can be found on our website at boostoverball.com. From us here on the show, as always, remember to choose Boost over Ball.
Andy, if you're looking for a team, you know where to find us.
Thank you for listening to the Boost Over Ball podcast. Make sure to check out our website, www.boostoverball.com, and rate us wherever you listen to podcasts.